High schoolers don't read books anymore. This topic has been on my mind all week because on Monday I handed a student a book for a new unit we're starting, and he looked at me and said, "I have never finished a book in my life."
We're being told to pass through students, damn near forced to pass through students who are functionally illiterate at the university level. It's a problem.
And as I'm assessing him, I realized this kid can't read. And when I say he can't read, he could barely write his name. He could barely identify the letters of the alphabet. Why they thought it would be a great idea to push him to 7th grade is because it would be emotionally damaging for him to repeat 6th grade. You know what's going to be really emotionally damaging for him? Becoming a functionally illiterate adult.
We're talking about two. There. Affect and effect, through and through. Loose and... If you can't read, if you can identify the difference between two, and two, and I'm talking long-term things, forget it. But a teacher says, write me 2 sentences to explain. That's too much. Man, I'm tired. I feel like every year it just gets like more and more. It just gets worse.
Kids spend years doing reading inside of school. So how are we still ending up with scores this low? Research shows that only 31% of 4th graders are at or above level in proficient reading. And for 8th grade, it's around the same amount. That means kids are not hitting reading strongly, even after being years inside of the system.
A book? What do you want a book for?
To read.
To read? Why would you want to read when you got the television set sitting right in front of you?
Why does reading even matter? Because reading is the skill underneath everything in life. And your reading level can also determine what kind of job positions you get into, what kind of future opportunities you have, and how well you're able to process information without being spoon-fed. By the end of this video, you'll understand how the time being spent in school reading doesn't match the outcomes, why reading has always been powerful, and how homeschooling can fix this for a lot of families. And as a bonus, for any family, homeschool or not, I'll teach you a secret thing that you can do to up-level your reading so that you're ahead and you don't end up like the new age readers that are coming out of school. Elementary classes actually spend a lot of time on subjects like reading and language arts. Students from K to 6 usually spend around 80 minutes per day covering reading skills and language arts. So the issue isn't that kids don't do reading. Hey, maybe not as much as they used to before social media and phones, but kids in school actually spend a good amount of time reading. If the time is there, but the results are still weak, we have to question what's actually going on during that time. If a child is doing roughly 80 to 90 minutes per day every week on most school days, that stacks up to about roughly 250 hours per year in elementary school. Across the full K through 6, you're looking at 1,800 hours just around reading and ELA time. If you add in the rest of those hours, you're getting close to 2,000 to 3,000 hours. That's a massive amount of time for the scores to be this low. And I'm not satisfied with the answer, kids are trying and teachers are trying. I'm not blaming the kids or the teachers or even the parents in this situation. Something is fundamentally wrong with the way reading is being taught in the school system. It doesn't just stop in childhood, it follows you till adulthood. Almost 30% of US adults scored level 1 or below in literacy.
Something wrong? Yeah, there is. I can't read this. I just can't read it. I'm sorry.
So this isn't just a little kid problem. Why does this matter? Why does reading even matter in real life? Well, if you can't read well, you're more easily able to be misled, and you're forced to rely on other people to interpret what you could be interpreting yourself. Hence, someone can show you a TikTok clip and you'll believe that it's real.
Lizard people are real. It's said that the shape-shifting lizard people have been on Earth since ancient times, coming from the Alpha Draconis.
And if you think I'm being dramatic, history has already taught us that reading is important. So I'm going to read you a passage from Frederick Douglass's autobiography, because he explains in plain language what people were most afraid of when it comes to reading. Now, from his autobiography, he did have a curse word that I replaced with another word, but the context is still the same. And he heard his slave master essentially say this: if you teach that person how to read, there would be no keeping him. It would forever unfit him to be a slave. He would at once become unmanageable and of no value to his master.
He picks up scraps of the King James Version of the Bible from gutters, he dries them out, and he sets them out nicely so he can learn from them.
He was reading all the time, and the fact that he never had one day of formal education is just flabbergasting.
Essentially, what his master told him was, the truth. He admitted out loud that reading can change a person. You're harder to control. You're not wild. You're just a lot harder to influence. You start questioning, you start wanting more, you start needing a deeper answer, and you start thinking for yourself. That power is extremely needed in a day and age like this, with misinformation going every which way. We don't know what's real or fake. AI videos literally looking super realistic. Being able to have a good head on your shoulders is important in a world like this today. That's why Frederick Douglass committed to reading at any cost. And obviously he ended up doing it. He got himself freed. So why does this matter? Why am I even telling you this story? Although we're not in those times anymore, I believe that the lesson still applies. Douglass figured out something very important, that reading is a part of the key to freedom. And although that sounds super cliche, it's true. Reading is a skill. It's not just schoolwork. It's the difference between just absorbing what is told to you to being able to create through your own mind. Frederick Douglass went on from being a slave to being free, but it's also a real metaphor for life. Reading frees your mind. It builds independent thought. It gives you the ability to verify, compare, and think for yourself. Here's the big difference. If reading creates independence, then weak reading skills create dependence. You're dependent on someone telling you what you need to hear. You'll take the first TikTok clip you see and say it's true.
Lizard people are real. It's said that the shape-shifting lizard people have been on Earth since ancient times, coming from the Alpha Draconis.
So the real question is, what can families do now? What can they do to make sure that they have the power in their home for themselves? There is a reason disciplined people keep pointing back to reading. You hear successful people say these things all the time.
If there's a good book, I'm gonna make sure to read it.
I've read so many books, and I used to hate reading.
When you are a great reader, you can articulate and speak, command the English language in ways that other people cannot. Have you ever met a person who was a great reader when they were young who was not successful?
So how does homeschooling solve this problem for a lot of families? Right now, I'm a 12th grade homeschooler. I have an 8th grade sister, and my brother is a homeschool graduate. We have a scheduled block for reading time where we have the book of our mom's choosing, and we have in-depth discussions as we read, normally around self-improvement or having the mindset of a winner. It's not like we read super fast or we are cramming tons of information into our head, but we have great discussions around the books that we've read, and it always sparks a new idea every time we read. We don't just read silently, we also read together. Homeschool focuses on the quality of the curriculum and the education, not just the end goal, not just the A+. So our method of reading, go around reading a page each for about an hour, and we pause to translate, what does it mean? What did we get? And if someone says, I don't understand this, we pause for a moment to share our ideas and our understanding. We're not so quick to just move on. That's the difference between reading as a subject and reading as a skill that you own. Comprehension is built when you slow down and you pay attention to what's actually being said, not just waiting to regurgitate the information back down onto the page. And for parents who think that they're not qualified to do this, I would like to handle that kind of objection. Clearly, the system is not guaranteeing strong literacy for everyone. So parents stepping in isn't just an extra step. It's necessary if we want strong readers. Even if you can't homeschool, here is a tip that I recommend to do. Have some group readings at home. Not only do we have group reading as a part of our homeschool schedule, but we also do family group readings at night on the most convenient days for us, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we just read for 1 hour, or at least everyone does one page of reading. But we also end up having great discussions about what we read. What I think, to summarize, is that you can't completely outsource reading. It's fundamental and it's a foundation to everything that we learn. Reading is freedom. And the parents and the families who take that seriously are usually the ones that are giving their kid an advantage that lasts a lifetime. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Chidima Wobodo. This is Built by Homeschool, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!